Sleepless is a remake of the French film Sleepless Night, and this film stars Jamie Foxx and Michelle Monaghan. Foxx plays a cop who's attempting to rescue his son from some drug dealers, and he's caught smack dab in the middle of a very complex situation. He's trying to prove himself to the cops, and he's trying to prove himself to these drug dealers because all that really matters to him is his son at this point. And all of this takes place over the course of one night at a Las Vegas casino. I didn't really have much anticipation for this movie. In fact, the studio is essentially throwing this film out. As far as I know, there were no screenings for critics. I looked right before filming this, and there's not a single review as of filming this posted on Rotten Tomatoes. I didn't have a screening, yet I had screenings for Monster Trucks and The Bye-Bye Man. And it's January. What does that tell you? It tells you shouldn't always judge a book by its cover, because I had a ton of fun with Sleepless. This is not a great film. This does have flaws, and we're going to get into those, but I would relate this film to a movie called Safe. It came out a few years ago with Jason Statham, another action film that takes place largely over the course of one night. And it's a perfectly fun, enjoyable, escapist action movie that doesn't do much beyond that. It doesn't try to overreach, it doesn't try to have a message. This film just really wants to be entertaining. And I really enjoyed it. The photography of Las Vegas is fantastic at night. There's non-stop action, essentially. I love movies that take place over the course of one contained period of time, because they always have a sense of urgency. A lot of the Die Hard films, for instance, when your main characters in the film have no time, and they're in the middle of a terrible situation, and they have to constantly dig themselves out of this hole that they dug for themselves, and now they have to figure out how to get out, it makes the film really interesting. And Jamie Foxx is actually really fantastic in this movie. He had a very complex character, one that I wasn't entirely sure what side he was on for a large portion of the movie, despite the fact that looking back on it, there's definite hints as to what is going on with his character. I really like the fact that he wasn't just some throwaway cop character. He had a lot to him. He had a backstory, he had a life, he had a reason for being there beyond just the fact that his son was there as well. It was more than just, I need my son and you have him. There was a lot more on the table for his character. Michelle Monaghan is also really good as a badass cop who people are doubting because she got beat up and she made some really wrong decisions when she was trying to do a bust, and she's now trying to prove herself. So each main character has something behind him or her that's really pushing them to try and giving them all a sense of urgency. It's not just, you took my son and I'm gonna kill you. There's more than just like a revenge style film. Now, there were some signs that I was watching a January film. For instance, the sound mixing in the earlier scenes. Now, there's always a chance that there's a speaker broken or a speaker out in the theater, and it's throwing off the equilibrium, and I'm noticing it. In this case, I don't think that's so, because I go to this theater all the time and it's a pretty high quality sound system. I noticed it most early on in the scene where Michelle Monaghan and Jamie Foxx meet. There's a helicopter noise in the background that goes in and out, and their voices seemed really drowned out. As I said, it's a chance it was my theater, but there were some definite sound mixing issues in some of the early scenes of this film. Also, characters make some really stupid choices in this movie to simply propel the suspense of the film. It's the kind of film where the script wants characters to do things that are stupid just to make us feel like, oh shit, something just happened and now we're into it. But these are cops who admittedly are very desperate. And I'm not sitting here like an expert on police procedure or anything, but there are certain sequences in this movie where I was like, really? You went ahead and did that? Like, there's a scene where Jamie Foxx is in disguise. He has a ball cap really low, and he's hiding in the elevator. And right before the doors close, he looks up right at the person he's hiding from and lets this person know he's there, which causes a chase scene, which leads to a fight scene. And I was like, really? That's probably, like, why were you hiding if you just wanted to let the person know you were there? That's like, stupid choices like that are made throughout this movie that don't make sense, that took me out of the film. There are definite shades of Michael Mann here as well, beyond the fact that Jamie Foxx is in this movie. You can tell that a director is trying to emulate that feel, that off-the-cuff, unhinged feel that Michael Mann is so great with. And there are sequences in this movie that really impress me, but it couldn't quite escape that feeling that it wasn't very original. But beyond that, I feel it's actually kind of commendable that I am examining the flaws of this movie as deeply as I am, because generally, a January movie that's just thrown into theaters with no screenings, you're just like, forget this thing, it sucks, you know? But no, I'm actually looking into the filmmaking here, which shows you that they were really trying. Sleepless is a much better film than I anticipated. It has very good performances. It has some very good action scenes, although I wish they were directed slightly better and that there was a little more character-based reasons for these fight scenes and for these elongated chase scenes beyond the fact that, hey, let's have a chase scene or a fight scene. Sometimes it does feel like we just need to have an action scene now. It doesn't necessarily always work. Scoot McNairy shows up as a really badass villain. Sometimes his performance was off and on for me. He does a lot of weird stuff and makes some really poor choices. As I said, stupid character choices for the purpose of suspense. Like he hangs somebody upside down in the middle of a baseball field, a giant public baseball field where anyone could really walk in. And towards the end of the movie, he's launching gas grenades around in public, and I'm like, I thought you didn't want to go to jail, dude. Like, those are some really bad choices. So beyond some of those stupid character choices that are made in this film at behest of the script, I thought Sleepless was a lot more fun than I anticipated. Jamie Foxx, as I said, and Michelle Monaghan are both very good in this movie, and I'm gonna give Sleepless a B. This is 95 minutes of a well-shot, disposable action thriller with a couple really good performances. And if you can enjoy that in the middle of January where we're watching movies like Monster Trucks and The Bye-Bye Man, have a good time. Go see it. Guys, thank you so much, as always, for watching. As you can tell, my background is kind of X-Men-ified, except for the Collateral Blu-ray, of course. That's because in February, I'm going to be doing an X-Men series of all the X-Men films I haven't reviewed. That's X-Men 1, 2, 3, and a little film called Origins. My buddy, the Flick Pick, was just here, and we filmed an Origins review together. Look forward to that in February. Guys, you are the best. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. I want to let you know that my promotion with Squarespace is still going on. Squarespace is a great web developing service that allows you to have so many customizable, simple, fun, beautifully rendered options to create your own website. They have 24/7 customer support. I personally am extremely impressed with what Squarespace has to offer on its website. I began doing movie reviews largely because I started my own website when I was a teenager. So when Squarespace got in contact with me, I was like, this just fits. Squarespace.com, check them out. You can start your free trial today with this extremely useful tool for web development at squarespace.com/Chris Stuckmann and use the coupon code Stuckmann and you can get 10% off. Guys, you are the best. Again, thank you very much for watching. And if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.